Well, now let's look at CJ Stroud on the other end of things, who was kind of an MVP candidate before, and he's looking weird, man. The Texans feel weird this season. They lost a Thursday night game a couple weeks ago. Now they lose to the Titans, and CJ Stroud does not look like he's in the same headspace, or something seems off with them.
Well, I mean, the sophomore slump is a very real thing that, NFL quarterbacks really experience because the teams have more tape on you. Teams are more excited. You are not a dark horse anymore. You are not coming out of nowhere because realistically, no one expected the Texans last year to be good. You know what I mean? They just didn't. And then you catch them on the back half of the season. Then it's like, okay, now we know that they're good, but we are seeing new wrinkles in the offense. We're seeing different things that we haven't seen before from this team. But now, year two, everyone knows coming in that, hey, this guy, CJ Stroud, is the real deal. And also, CJ, maybe you shouldn't have been hanging out with Micah Parsons the whole offseason. Maybe you should have been just grinding. Maybe you should have been getting better because what people typically say is the offseason between year one, year two is crucial for development for quarterbacks. And I'm sure he was grinding, but at the same time, people are going to look to like, okay, well, you on every podcast, you were hanging out with Micah Parsons the whole time. You kind of got a big head. You tried to little bro Caleb Williams after that game. Like, it just seems like humble yourself a little bit, bro.
The little broing of Caleb Williams now in hindsight looks awful.
Crazy.
Like, listen, if you're, I'd say 4 or 5 years in the league and you've been a Pro Bowler consistent, like, I'm okay with that. In the moment, I was okay with it, but now looking back, I'm like, dude, the 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 ego is insane to be like, hey, bro, let me tell you how it should be done. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay, kid. Like, bro, are you okay? like,
We're the same age, bro. You have 1 year over me. Come on, chill out.
don't. I mean, yeah, you turn a terrible organization around, but let's do it a little consistently here.
But also, it wasn't just CJ. Like realistically, a new head coach that came in that's a dynamo in D'Amico Ryans. And then they also had another first round pick on that defensive line that was a huge playmaker in Will Anderson. So, like, it wasn't just CJ Stroud himself. Yeah, CJ Stroud was a big reason that people were excited about the team, but the team as a whole had a lot of new pieces last year. And realistically, I don't know what needs to change moving forward, but they've got to find their groove. They got to recenter themselves and figure out what's going to work for the Houston Texans moving forward.
And you're almost like, well, what is CJ when you take away all these weapons they had on offense? Because then he hasn't had consistently Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell all together, and even none of them at times. And he's really struggled to push the ball down the field in those moments.
Yeah. And that's what like you can point to and be like, okay, well, look at the injuries, look at all the things that we're going through. Once we get centered and we get healthy again, which it could be next year, realistically, we'll find that offense again.
The good thing is they're playing in a, fair to say, dog shit division with the Colts and the Titans stinking up the place, and they should be able to get in the playoffs pretty easily.
Yeah.